Ellie says, how do I start a conversation regarding how I feel about the guy I'm seeing? We are spending more time together and feel a real connection. So it depends on what you mean by that, right? Like a lot of times what women mean when they say, how do I tell him how I feel, is they want to do this kind of dump, right? And that is not a conversation that you want to have, right? Instead, you want to kind of smooth things in and allow him to start getting more attracted, and for him to start trying to like open up about himself, and for that kind of world to merge together like this. Because if you're a lot more attracted to him than he is to you, and you start opening up, what's going to happen is you're going to start feeling more invested. And the only challenge with that is that if he's not that invested yet, and he's not that interested yet, and you're just spewing out everything that you're in love with him, and you think that you'd have the best babies of his ever, and you want to get married, and you want to lock him down and have a white picket fence, and you want to have 30 babies and live on a farm, and all that kind of thing, right? And that's like the conversation that you're talking about having right now. You might want to slow down a little bit, right? Just chill out, slow down, let things progress a little bit more and a little bit more. And instead of trying to have a conversation where you can spew out your guts about how you feel about him, just, connect with him in different ways and let it come out through compliments, through appreciation, through things like that, right? Through connecting with him in ways so that it builds, instead of kind of throwing the metaphor that I have for this is throwing a giant log onto a itty bitty fire, right? If you're trying to throw a giant log onto an itty bitty fire, you're just going to smother it. And instead, what you want to do is you want to grow it, and you want to build it up, and you want to give it twigs and leaves and little sticks and stuff like that until it grows and grows and grows and grows. And then at some point it can get really, really big. And it's fine if you start having conversations like that, because you're not going to put it out anymore. But if you're not at the point where you're having conversations like that, you want to build it up slowly, because otherwise you might end up freaking them out and kind of tipping the weights, right, of power in the relationship. Which I know when a lot of people hear that word, they like freak out and they're like, no power, but every relationship has a power dynamic to it, whether you like to believe so or not. Right. And your power is basically your ability to get whatever it is that you want. And the more invested you are in the situation, the less of a power that you have in that situation if they aren't the same amount invested. Right. So if you're really invested and he's kind of like, I'm not really sure that I want to be in this, I'm not even sure if I want to be swimming with this woman yet. Right. You jump in the pool and he's like on the edge and he's hanging out there and you're like, hey, I'm swimming around. Right. And he hasn't jumped in. Right. All of a sudden he's like, well, what if he wants to go somewhere else? Or if he's like, I don't know if I even want to go in this pool. Right. And then you're like totally committed to it and he's already gone. And so you don't want to be in that situation. You want to have a situation where you both get over to the edge and you put your feet in and, you kind of get in and then, you're swimming around a little bit and then you guys are in, right? You're in together and it's really easy to have those conversations then. And so you want to do it slowly. That's my suggestion.